Hi, Dr. Scarduzio. My name is Michael Buchanan, and today I'm talking about sexual harassment in the workplace. So, the EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, defines sexual harassment as any unwanted touching, any unwanted advances, verbal expressions, anything that's unwanted and um, is basically construed by the victim as sexual harassment that we just feel violated in any kind of way, verbally, non-verbally, physically, etc. So that is the kind of basically a brief overview or definition of the topic. So kind of an overview of sexual harassment. It's pretty. I want to say I don't want to say rampant, but it is common in workplace environments, and especially in companies. I know in the paper I use the example of dental hygienists and that they experience an increased rate of sexual harassment in their workplace. I picked this topic just because, over the years, I've always kind of known about it, heard about it, learned about it on some kind of level, very minimal. But one kind of common theme was that nobody really has protocols for it. Companies do, but there's a lot that don't. And these companies that don't struggle and they actually lose millions and millions of dollars a year in settlements or just just from my research it shows that some things I've learned is that it decreases productivity and efficiency in the workplace obviously and employee increases employee dissatisfaction, and so they're actually people are quitting, people are just not getting, they're not producing at an effective level, they're not producing optimal results, and so that's just kind of an overview of why I chose sexual harassment, and also a reason, or actually shows a something I learned from my research. Another thing I learned was that, of course, people that are sexually harassed usually it's over a power trip. I didn't really realize this. I thought it was just kind of over like sexual attraction in the workplace that made people uncomfortable. But really, it's just to, I guess, display power over someone and to make them feel inferior, and maybe to instill fear. Um, Maybe to get them to do whatever they want to do. And what's sad is a lot of these victims are afraid to lose their jobs, or maybe they're not confident in themselves to find another one, and or they don't speak out. Actually, I saw when I was doing my paper, over 50% of victims don't report sexual harassment because they're afraid that'll be flipped on them, or that it's actually sexual harassment coming from management, so they'll be terminated themselves. Um, Anything like that. So, a couple of topics for research in the future, basically to figure out why there aren't protocols, maybe to figure out some reasons why it's not taken as seriously. And that's just kind of the theme that I pulled from research is that, um, it's not, it's very intangible. And from one of my examples of showing on the different types of levels of sexual harassment, it could be from catcalling, staring, elevator eyes. These are just some things that provide a gray area, and maybe that is why um, people have a hard time pinpointing it and setting a protocol up for dealing with sexual harassment. So, um, so some things I think would be interesting to research is basically finding a common ground, or doing surveys on what could be proposed as influential action on how to deal with sexual harassment and how to basically wrap the victim around, um, get them surrounded by really good people and people to kind of help them psychologically. Another research method I'd like to do is to find the best way to help these people heal and recover from the abuse, because I think 64% victims have psychological damage, and it really affects their careers in the long run anyway, and so they have a hard time carrying on, and so it makes them less productive and less appealing to employers. And so that's really all I have on sexual harassment. Hopefully, you know, another thing I did read was in the dental hygienist that some protocols are made, but there's a very low percentage in that work area in that health, and so that's really disheartening to see. but I think research needs to be done on new ways to get people surrounded by the right people to get them to help them recover from the abuse. Anyway, have a great day. Thank you so much.